What were you the god of again?
Welcome back, Dice Rollers and Role Players. It is Ryan with God of Crits, and we are here doing another Behind the DM screen. And today I'm going to be walking you all through how I set up my notes and what I've learned from my early days of DMing when I set up my notes and it did not work out that well at all. And I think it's best to start with what you write your notes on. I started out a long time ago on just a Word document, and it went up and then straight down, and it did not work out very well. There was a lot of clutter. The one thing I recommend is the Microsoft app OneNote. Not sponsored by them or anything, but I think that for organizational purposes, it is the best way to set up a note system for a DM, and I'll go through exactly why. But to start with that, I want to show you what my old system looked like. It's not pretty, but it was pretty much this, what you're seeing right here. It was a straight down line with a bunch of stuff in bold and links to where monsters I could find and even monologues that I had written out, and it was just all chaos, and I found that it shoehorned me into doing things instead of actually letting the world breathe. I felt like I had to go straight down the line, and if I missed anything, that I was doing something out of order. So I don't love that. If you're beginning, it's not a horrible way to run it. What I do think I would recommend, one of the first things, is that if you are going to have a campaign that's going to be structured in chapters, I would make a link in this OneNote for each chapter. I'd go chapter 11, 12, 13. This is what I did for my campaign. I still have kind of the haphazard straight up and down system that I went away from later on, but I think this is a good way to at least mentally pace out your campaign and make sure that one chapter isn't 8 chapters long, really, right? Another couple of things I really like that I did here is I made a players tab. And in this players tab, I could find all of my characters. I wrote down all of their most of their ability checks. I wrote down a lot of things about their personality, their fears, their interests. And this is a really good way, as long as you keep up on it, to really get to know your characters and show this to your characters and let them know, hey, this is what I think. How are you interpreting how I'm interpreting our characters? Are we on the same page and stuff like that? The next thing is I always keep a little DM screen section, and this is going to be simply my lists of generators if I need them, right? If at some point during a session I need to generate a name, I can click right here and go to the name generators, or even rogue stuff, shopkeepers, potions, poisons, all that stuff is good to do ahead of time so you don't need it in the moment, or at least it's 1 or 2 clicks away. If you know where your campaign is going, like terrain-wise, it's always good to get a useful creature tab where you're going to go, all right, if a random encounter breaks out, what kind of monsters should I bring up? I have an ocean tab right here with just a bunch of books, pages, and CRs that I could throw together a combat really quickly if I needed to, no problem. That's going to be in the ocean. And then once I've done one, I just highlight it. I go right there and I highlight it. So I know, hey, that monster has appeared. Probably don't do that one again. Another important thing is mechanics. What kind of mechanics have you set in your game? Whether it's prices or mini games that your players can play, a dice game, or as big as mass combat rules that you've made, or drowning mechanics that you want to keep consistent. It's always important to have them in a located area so that you can always reach back to them if you want. It's not every session that you're going to be going to your mechanics page, but it's really nice to have if you need it. We will move on over to my Rime of the Frostmaiden. Now, this is my advice if you are going to be running a module straight out of a book. In that case, I would try to find a downloadable PDF, and that's what I did, and then I put it in here. It was pretty easy to do. That way, I actually have the book right there in front of me whenever I need it. Next I did is I created an NPCs and a monsters tab, which was so easy for me to reach in and grab a monster if I need it at any time. Next, I want to cover what I think is the best way to make D&D notes or whatever tabletop RPG notes you're going to make. It takes a bit longer, but it saves you so much time when you're actually playing. And I will show you what I did. This is for a homebrew Call of Cthulhu campaign I am currently running. And what I have done is I have linked together an entire note page worth of stuff that I could always be one click away from almost any answer I need. And let me show you what I mean. And you could totally do this for any D&D campaign, does not have to be Cthulhu specific. For example, let's go to Graybill, which is a location in my town, and you go to the high school. Now, if you're at the high school, I have the jobs tab right here, which is going to show all of the NPCs that work at this place. I am always one click away from just going, I want to know about Melania Richards, the principal. I click on her, and now I am directly into her page right here. And then it says, oh, well, she's sister to this character, Padme. I can click on her. I go right to Padme's page. And then on Padme, I can see that, oh, well, she's the principal at the elementary school. If I want to go to the elementary school, I'm one click away. So it's super nice, super easy, super concise. The next two things I would recommend is a world timeline. First of all, I've got one here, which is going to show the year, and I'm also, again, linking to all these people and all these organizations, so I'm only one click away when I need it. And the next thing, and probably final thing, would be make a group timeline. I've done one here. It's very nice to help keep notes. This is going to be, you know, the day, in-game day one, the date that we played, and then I name it something. And then I do a quick little system right here of what the players did that day and who they interacted with, again being one step away. Well, thank you for watching. D&D notes are one of those weird things that we don't talk about enough, I think, or at least I don't. I want to know what your guys' systems are. How do you set up your campaigns? If you have any questions, write it down in the comments. I also have no problem linking any of this stuff for you guys, so let us know. We got a Discord going for this channel, so feel free to jump on in there and ask as many questions as you want. Keep it right here for anything tabletop roleplay related, and let me know if you guys want information on Cthulhu 7th edition, if that's something you guys are interested in. And until the next time, roll on, gamers.